Most vision boards don't work because they are focused on building from the outside in. But in this video, I'm going to talk to you about how to create a vision board from the inside out. So I'm going to take you through 5 shifts to take you from surface level thinking when you're creating this vision board to having more substance in the creation of your vision board. And so let's first talk about why traditional vision boarding often does not work. It is because there is this energy of what it is that you want more than who it is you need to become to have those things come into fruition. So instead of focusing on the aesthetic of how the vision board looks, are you focused on being aligned? Does it really align with you and what you're wanting more than being focused on the look? Also, are you just checking off another thing that you're getting completed as opposed to being present and intentional in this process of creating? Are you focused on the outcomes rather than the impact that is going to come when you look at this vision board and when you really think about what you're putting on the board that you want to have come out into your real world, your physical world, your physical realm? More important than outcomes, it is the impact that this vision board is making you feel when you are connecting with it. So let's really think on those things, that these are the things that take you away from getting what you want when we just traditionally create a vision board as opposed to doing this with more intention. So let's talk about number 2. You can put a mention of the most beautiful expression on a vision board, but if it does not really align with your feeling of deserving it or your ability to have it, that's going to be a problem. If your nervous system is so afraid from the things you put on the vision board, it's not going to land. When you're creating this vision board, remember that you are building from alignment, not from an aesthetically pleasing board. It's more important for this to be aligned. So when you're creating this board, you really want to be asking yourself, who is it that I want to be in 2026, in this year ahead? Who is it that I want to be? What is it that I am becoming? So that is what you have in your mind as you're creating. Also, you want to really think about what is it that you are truly desiring, and do the values align with that? So you want to really think about, what are your values? What values do you need to bring to the forefront when you are creating these new ways and these things that you want to see in the year ahead? And keep that in mind, because when you are also creating and you're doing things from a place of alignment, then the pictures that you put on your vision board don't have to be the most aesthetically pleasing, but you want them to be truthful. It is more important for them to speak truth, because when you look at the truth, that's going to resonate with you. That's going to bring forth that energy more naturally of the desires. And remember, whatever we are bringing into our existence, it is coming from a place of who we are being. So when you're looking at this vision board, more than it being pretty with all of the nice pictures, the decorations, the flowers, because I love flowers, the flowers that could be there, more than it being about that, it is to be more about that it speaks truthfully to what it is that really touches your heart, because that emotion is what you're going to feel each time you look at the vision board. And our emotion is a big part of the other part of creating, is what we emotionally feel in addition to what we see and envision. And we also have to believe those things, because our beliefs are also a very major part of how it is that we're going to create. So in essence, your vision board is not a mood board. It is a mirror to what it is you're really holding within you. So number 3 that we're talking about when it comes to really putting more substance into this process of vision boarding is going to be choosing images that reflect emotions more than objects. Because the objects that we put, if they really don't spark anything in us, and we're just putting the objects because this is typically what you want in an object is not enough to really conjure up the emotion and the connection to that image and that object. So an example of this is, rather than just putting a house on your vision board, think about, what is it that this house represents? What is it that's in the house that makes the house special for you? Is it that there's a lot of loving conversations? Are there a lot of hugs that happen in the home? Is there communing, like talking and gathering together? Is it safety? Does the home represent a level of safety for you? More than it being the object of the house, it should also embody, what is it about what's going on in that house that is really going to touch your heart? Because again, we are getting to the emotion in this vision board. So in essence, when you're creating this vision board, pay attention to what your body does before your mind tries to explain it. Number 4, we are talking about incorporating spiritual practices. This is not just about creating images on a board. It's also about the spiritual practices that go into this. When you really think about it, vision boarding is a spiritual process if you're really doing it correctly, because it's about creating. And creating is a spiritual process. In order to create, it is important for you to be connected and to be intentional. And that is spiritual. So we come from spirit. We were created. Anything that we do in our life, it comes from a mental and a spiritual place, what we're creating, it be it good or bad. So when we're talking about creating this vision board, because we're trying to create something into our physical experience, that is a spiritual process. So what are the spiritual practices that you bring into that? Again, we could get caught up in just routines and making our vision board a thing to do, a quick check off. And that's going to be something that where you miss everything because there's no intention behind it. So the intention also brings about the spiritual practice of prayer or meditation. It may be a grounding technique that you're doing. It may be connected to your ancestors to get inspiration and to feel connected and to feel inspired. So these are things that are important to remember too, to be connected spiritually and intentionally, so that there's thought behind what's being created. True thought, intentional thought is behind what it is that we're creating. And then we are also thinking about the fact that manifestation, it's not a magical thing. It is a very spiritual thing. It's a spiritual act. And sometimes we think that spiritual things are magic, but they're really deep devotion, deep connection. And it's powerful, more powerful than what we could say magic is, in my opinion. So number 5, and our final, is to make sure your board shows a level of reciprocity. Reciprocity is an important principle to remember. In our universe, we're not just here to give, it's important to also receive. And we also are not just here to receive, it is also important to give, that exchange that goes back and forth. This is something that is important to allow your vision board to show as well. So if you're someone who tends to look at your vision board and it's like, okay, this is what I want, this is what I want, this is what I want, that's a lot of just receiving. But how can you show how you're giving too? It could be from a place of gratitude. It could be from a place of giving because you have gotten such abundance. This is really showing where the heart is really at. It's important to have both. So it's great to receive, but if you're just receiving and taking and taking and taking, we see a lot of that going on in our larger world, of this just hoarding everything. But when we really are in this space of reciprocity, in order for us to receive, we understand that we have to give. Now, you also could be someone who is a big time giver and you're not comfortable with receiving, but this is going to be the same thing. It is very important to receive just as it is important to give. So your vision board should show sure that you are giving and being a part of things or creating things to help with service, but it should also reflect how you're being filled back up, how you're being given to and nurtured as well. Both are important. One-way streets on this is going to end in either becoming a hoarder and maybe possibly greedy and self-centered, or being a people pleaser and only giving and being burned out. So we want to balance them. Balance is always a part of our life experience. So this is what I'm sharing with you. And the last point is, our vision boards work when they seem to be in more conversation than a demand per se. Like, our vision board is showing a conversation, a flow, a give and receive, a talking to, being talked to, like the both are working together. So that is what I'm sharing with you for this vision boarding process. Leave a heart in the comments section if this resonated with you, if you think you might try this, and I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. Take care.